Look, thank you very much for having me, everyone. My name is Jacob Ingram. I just started in the Chief Minister's office as the Chief Minister's Community Engagement Advisor. So I'm here tonight to tell you a bit about my role, how I can be of service to you, and some of the services that I might be able to provide to you as a group and to Inner North residents more broadly. So my role largely entails dealing with about 80 or 90 local community groups. And that's in assisting them in getting through government process and government bureaucracy, and also taking feedback to the political arm of the government, being the executive in the Assembly. So what that means is that local community groups, particularly in the inner north and south, but also outside of that, have one single point of contact and someone that can advocate on their behalf within government. So I think this came out of some feedback we got during the election that the government wasn't engaging enough and consulting enough with local community groups, that policies weren't being debated enough and we weren't gauging the mood of the community enough on our policies. So my role is a very proactive role. I've actively gotten in touch with all the local community groups that I have responsibility for, and I'm actively seeking your feedback and input into government programs, government services, what you think we're doing well and what you think we could be doing better. So my job works much better when I get as much feedback from you as possible through the executive of your organisation, or also I've left some business cards as well, so feel free to get in touch directly. So that could be anything from, if you have a city services related issue, footpaths need fixing, we have Fix My Street for services like that, but I think it's also good that you have someone to talk to in the government that you can deal with directly and have one single point of contact, rather than having to go through the kind of, the bureaucratic mire that...
You won't survive.
Well, I've gotten this far, so it's been okay so far.
Well, I rang up Canberra Connect.
I'll give you 3 months.
Well, it's already been 3 months.
Oh, well, there you are.
So, maybe 3
We'd have a
more.
sweep, is that
You're still smiling. I give him another 6.
No, it's a good job. It's a good job. So, look, that's my role. That's how I can help you.
I rang up Canberra Connect today.
Yeah.
While I had a brief moment of presumably my employer's time at the moment, and I'm 16th in the queue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're pretty fast in Canberra Connect,
they
I have
might
to
be,
say.
but the phone is where I'm doing my business.
Yeah, that's right.
I need an open line, and I don't have 4 of them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's something occasionally I hear during peak periods, but it's not something I'm hearing a lot. So that's feedback I'll definitely take back to the Minister's office.
Well, every time that I can reasonably remember, and I'm probably more likely to remember the bad than the good, is that I have been kept on the phone for a long time.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take a note of that. I'll maybe get some contact details for you as well and let you know what the outcome of that is.
It was usually a lot better when you could actually just ring up the department. In fact, if I've got one of my mates in the area, I'll ring them up in preference.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are pros and cons to the change. So if you're someone with quite a lot of knowledge of how government works and kind of the intricacies of it, then it might be better to deal with individual directorates.
You just have a few mates in places.
Yeah, well, see, that's it. But your average Canberran doesn't have a few mates in places in the government. And so it's great to be able to have one single point of contact for that kind of service delivery. But what I'm talking about is a point of contact for liaising with the Chief Minister and Ministers. So there's a bit of a distinction to be made there. So look, if you have any questions or any comments, I'm happy to take those. Some more substantive policy questions I might have to take on notice. But thank you very much for having me. And I'm a service to be used. So if you have any feedback, if you have any comments, if there's something you think needs fixing, please get in touch. Thank you.
That's not steal my phone.
Jacob, can I get your signature on this?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it depends what it is.
It's a check from
Money.
to us.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll have a read through and then sign it.
Thank you. There's forms online you can...
Of course, it's membership. I should also mention I'm a resident of Dixon as well, and I just moved there from Watson, so I have a pretty good understanding of inner north issues. I'm largely across it. So yeah, I come from that background too.
Fantastic. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And you've signed him up.
No, not yet.
I haven't signed my life away yet.
Approved and
Lock the doors until he's...
positively vetted.
Without further ado, can I ask him a question? Yes. I'm involved just at the moment with a development application that is being considered, right?
Yep. Is it your DA or someone else's?
No, someone else's.
Right.
Didn't you read in the paper that it's actually been stopped? No, it's been they've been told they have to resubmit it. Yes. What I'm trying to find out is whether we get any consultation after it's been resubmitted. I don't know. But the interesting thing about this DA was that there's a compulsory form that they have to put in with the DA on their consultation.
Yeah.
And they tick boxes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
But nothing is mandatory. They can just elect not to tick the boxes.
Right. Okay.
So they don't have to have a presentation to North Canberra Community Council. They don't have to have community meetings.
Yeah.
In this particular case, they said they did a letterbox drop. You know, this is for 284 apartments.
Which one is it? Where is
It's
it?
the one next to the Canberra Centre.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What? If consultation is the government's interest,
Yeah.
how is it that developers don't have to consult?
Yeah. Look, in terms of the, I mean, your question about whether they have to consult again after they resubmit.
No. Initially, they didn't consult.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. Well,
They just didn't tick the boxes and put it in, and that was acceptable.
yeah. I mean, that might be part of why it
Is
didn't
that on
go
the
ahead
camera? Is
originally.
that on the car park next to the Griffin Centre, is it? That?
No, it's the ABC.
This is the
ABC flats.
Oh.
But we
Across the road.
really thought that consultation was what Minister Gentleman said was happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, one thing that's important to remember is it's also an independent process from the executive arm of government. So the directorate does it itself, but those decisions are apolitical. So my understanding is the minister can't go back and say, well, you haven't done this right, do it again. What we can look at, though, is reforming the process to make sure the process acts according to community
So people who
expectations.
put up development applications don't have to consult with community council.
Well, my understanding is they do. I mean, it doesn't say they have to consult with community council specifically, is my understanding.
That's one of the boxes that they can elect to tick.
Yeah, my understanding is there's a range of options in terms of how they do it. So while there has to be some form of community consultation, whether in that case there was sufficient community consultation, I'm not across. I'll have to go
No,
and have a
I'm
look
not
at it.
asking you to be across it, but
Yeah.
it's not mandatory to consult.
Well, it is mandatory to consult in some way. It's not. I don't think it's mandatory to consult residents groups and community councils as such. That's a distinction.
options.
Probably does qualify. A letterbox drop probably does qualify.
Yeah, I'd assume it does too.
So no matter, 284 apartments is a pretty big project.
Yeah. Oh,
12
absolutely.
stories high next to 3-storey residences.
Yeah, it's significant. And you know,
And
it's
a letterbox drop that actually didn't get to most people.
It's outrageous.
the thing is that it's in the government's best interest for them to be consulting groups like this one and local residents groups because you're our
So why don't they
constituents
do
and well because we can't order developers to go and do it. There's a range of
Of
options.
course you can. You can just say
Well,
development not
Well,
approved.
not for individual. You can't go in for an individual development and have the minister commanding the developers to do something. It's not how it works.
The law
It's
actually
separate.
says that if it's a development of a certain type or above a certain size,
Yeah,
they must do some consulting. It doesn't specify what consulting.
Yeah.
exactly.
And
That's
there's a form
the
they can fill out, and you would expect that they'd have to tick at least one of the boxes.
Yeah.
And I think Chris is saying they submitted the form without ticking any boxes.
They
They
ticked
tick
the one
letterbox.
saying a letterbox drop.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
yeah.
We
Jacob,
could only find a handful of people that got the letterbox drop.
Jacob
Yeah.
and Chris, I think that actually this is a major policy problem.
It's a policy question.
And
yeah,
I
that's right.
think that we ought to convene a meeting at some stage that concentrates on consultation and engagement
I think
and really thrash this out, and then we take what the outcomes of that meeting is
Yeah.
to the executive.
Yeah,
Because we are not happy.
Yeah, look, I
Should we be
understand.
flogging our way through the courts as we are right now to oppose an obviously stupid, appalling development?
In
So
Dixon.
are we having a motion here or something? To
No.
No,
I'm just
we're
making
just having a
sure.
general discussion.
But-
But the first thing to understand is that the government and planning are actually very separate bodies. Okay? Planning is, in a sense, a law unto itself. It is independent of government.
Yeah.
That's how the system's set
And that's
up.
how we want it, because it's
part of
fast.
the directorate.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it's
right.
part of a directorate. Look, this is where it gets complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But in effect, planning is separate from government,
yeah,
which is the way we all actually want it to be.
yeah.
Because we want planning to be able to do its job without being told by allegedly corrupt politicians that they should be doing this, that or the other. Okay? Now I advisedly say allegedly corrupt politicians because there's a lot of allegations which none will be proved, I suspect.
Sure.
However-
I'll only take one or two.
we might get one somewhere,
Well,
but
that's all right.
Yeah.
so
New South
we in
Wales
the
have-
process, if planning approves it,
Eddie?
it's outside the control of government.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So the feedback, which is completely legitimate feedback, is you're suggesting that's not enough consultation.
Yeah.
Like being able to tick
But
one
it is
box.
separate from
But
the government.
That's right. So the government doesn't decide on, the government, as in the minister, doesn't decide on individual developments, because that would open a whole range of
Well,
questions
they do really, because
Well,
through,
they can later.
through precinct codes they can decide what type the buildings will be.
Yeah, but that's still different to approving that's a policy question as opposed to an individual development question.
actually, I'll just make one point, and just about the separation between the politics. Or the problem we have is that, okay, I've seen this, the whole arm's length thing. The arm's length from this assumes that this is accountable,
Yeah,
and I think we've had a number of issues in relation to, I hate to say it, the bureaucracy,
yeah,
in which they don't seem to be acting in an accountable manner. And there is no easy way to hold them to account beyond taking it to court,
yeah.
which is a pretty full-on way to have to deal
No,
with
it's
this
expensive too.
question. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
And just separate to, but related to, there is about to be an inquiry into the planning system, I understand.
yeah, that's right. And there's
Is that actually started, or is it...
my understanding is it hasn't started yet.
Right.
But the LDA, the recent announcement was the LDA is being split in two
Yeah.
essentially. So the LDA is being abolished,
Yes.
and so there'll be one organisation for the northbound corridor in the city, and then there'll be another suburban
Yeah.
planning authority. So that'll speed up the process. That'll have new accountability measures as well. That's my
I don't
understanding.
want to see the process speeded up anymore. It's bad enough.
Well, it'll make the process clearer.
Is it
And that's
divide,
always-
divide and conquer?
I don't.
Well,
I
I
don't
was
think it's
just
divide and
wondering,
conquer.
what happens if you let it live on the edge of that Northbourne planning corridor code? And what's going to happen to those poor buggers on the wrong side of it?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
I haven't looked at the boundaries,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a long.
I think this is a case for another and a meeting.
Yeah,
with
these are really deep questions. It's something I get a lot of feedback on. Development issues are overwhelmingly what the community councils and
I will
the
put it to you, I'm going to have my 2 bobs worth before we finish. And this is that as chair of the O'Connor Community Inc. And an active local resident, I can quote you buildings after buildings where the residents are ropeable. I use the term people live in fear of the McMansion that is built that breaches the planning codes, where the certifiers certify an uncertifiable building. And I've had builders sit there and tell me, haven't we, Mike, that this building should not be certified, right? They're builders, right? I have got plans of buildings sitting in my house. I am sure they're uncertified, but I have not got to date the time or the resources to go through it.
Yeah.
And why the hell am I paying $4,000 a year rates
Yeah.
to live in fear of what some dickhead next door neighbour's going to have to do, and also to have a land and planning authority that doesn't understand the concept of keeping in the streetscape. What's the term? Keeping in the current
character.
Yeah,
And
I think
the
what-
things
they
that are complementary.
completely
and-
ignore it.
yeah.
So you can have beautiful 1950s butterfly, you can have another nice, old brick place, McMansion, overlooks both of them, stinking, awful rubbish, and people hate it.
I'm sure some of
I
those
can
people
assure
love
you-
their homes.
No, I can
Actually,
assure
the one
you.
that you're thinking of, they don't like how it was built
Oh,
because it's
really?
falling apart.
Yeah, they actually live in their own home. That's actually an interesting case. He's even come here and said he hates his own home.
Right.
Yeah, we have residents in Reed who are about, if this goes ahead, to have their winter daylight reduced to as little as 3 hours.
Yeah.
And go and have a look
By
at Oliver Street.
overshadow.
Look at that criminal activity that occurred for the poor folks in Oliver Street there on Mowat Street. That development street.
I mean, 3 hours.
Yeah,
Would
okay.
you like 3 hours of sunshine a day
Chris.
in your house?
Chris,
And, guys,
Yeah.
some of these, and while I agree with a lot of what you're saying, I think this is for separate. Jacob came along tonight merely to introduce himself.